next up is a 45. Everybody, a lot of macho guys think, oh, I gotta have a 45. Well, you know, depending on what kind of 45 you have, the 45's got some recoil to it. This is a 45, and if you want to compare that to a 40, this is the 45 is here, the 40 is here. You can tell that there's definitely a size difference, diameter-wise. And to tell you the truth, I think the 40's got more snap than the 45, but you know, depending on what you're carrying it in, that might not be true. 45's definitely got some kick to it. I mean, you got a large bullet, anywhere from, there's different sizes. I've actually seen them go down to 85 grain, but for the most part, you're going to find bullets are usually around in 45, 200 to 230 grain bullets, mostly. That's a lot of bullet to push out of there, and it's going to have some propellant behind it, and that's going to the propellant is where the recoil comes from, and you're going to have some recoil from it. Now, this is a 1911. This is my TAC Ops. This is a SIG. This is my, if you've seen any of my videos with the my Osprey, that's why it's got this end on here. I got my threaded barrel on it right now. It actually comes with a stainless barrel. But this is my TAC Ops. This is a heavy gun. This is, I have to get into, a lot of people have been asking about holsters and stuff. This is one of my Remorsa holsters. This is a no clip holster, but this goes in between. This is an inside the waist holster. It slides in like that, and it sticks in. I'll have to show people that in another video, but right now that's usually what I carry that in. And like I said with the other video, you gotta make sure something covers up the trigger. You never want anything to grab a hold of the trigger. You can see this is cocked and locked. This is what they say about 1911's cocked and locked. It has the grip safety on it, like most 1911s. It has a skeletonized hammer, and it has a skeletonized trigger. Very nice gun. Very heavy though. That's the reason why it doesn't have much recoil. It's a heavy gun. This is a 5-inch barrel on this thing, and if you're going to carry this thing, first of all, this grip on this is very aggressive. And imagine that on your side there, and you're walking down the street, and you have it inside the waistband. This is going to tear the heck out of you if you don't have something that covers up this grip, because it's brutal. I've carried it before, and it's brutal. But recoil-wise, it's fairly low on recoil. But like I said, the heaviness of the gun makes up for the load that it shoots. This is an XDS, Springfield XDS 45. This is a TAC driver. This has serious recoil. Would I suggest someone have this? No. If you're not good with the gun and recoil, this has serious recoil. It's a very light gun. It's very small. It's slender. If you can handle recoil, I would suggest this is a very good gun to carry. If you're a young lady who's maybe 100 pounds, I would not suggest this weapon. Might be thousands of 100-pound girls out there that might prove me wrong with that, but for the most part, small statured girls, I don't suggest something like this, because this has a lot of recoil to it. This will let you know that you're shooting a gun, because this thing has serious recoil in it. It shoots the same bullets that come with this gun in this gun, but the difference between the recoil in this and this is like night and day. You wouldn't think you were shooting the same caliber bullet coming out, but it's a 45 ACP shooting out of both of those. This is very easy to conceal. That's why a lot of people like carrying it. Do I like carrying it all the time? Sometimes not. The problem is when you have higher and bigger caliber bullets, you can see that this is a 5-round magazine. It does have an extended magazine. You can stick 7 rounds into it, but then you're making it larger in size there, and it sticks out the bottom, makes the grip a little bit longer. But then again, there goes your concealability, and so basically what you have here with one in the chamber, you have 6 rounds. It's 5 rounds plus 1, or 7 rounds plus 1 if you have the extended magazine in there. You basically have a revolver that's an automatic. Now, really, with the TAC Ops, in 1911, you can see that this is an 8 round, so this is an 8 plus 1 weapon, and you still don't have a lot of rounds. Most people say it only takes 1 round of a 45 ACP to put someone down, so I don't really worry about it. Well, you know, most of those people haven't been in a combat situation, and they don't know what it's like sometimes to be under pressure and try to get a shot off. You might need 5, 6, 8 rounds just to, you know, nullify the situation. So basically, I think the more rounds you have with you, the better. If I carry this, I usually carry a couple magazines with me. That way you can make up for the loss of size with extra magazines and extra rounds with you, but then you have a pocket full of magazines. Alright, now this is my little 2214. This is my second gun I ever bought. I actually bought it for my wife to carry. It's a little 22. It has very little recoil, but the rounds are very small. Where did I put that magazine at? Oh, it's over here. Yep. Alright, it helps not to have butterfingers. This is a 22. Now, let me take one of these rounds out of here. 22. Now, people would laugh about 22s. I don't laugh about this. If you look at most killings in the world, most killings are done with a 22, so I mean, you can't make too much fun with it. It'll definitely hurt somebody. If you put a 22 up next to a 45, it's kind of a joke, huh? This is the 45, this is the 22. The only problem is this is center fired, which is a much reliable cartridge, and this is rim fired. When you take the gun and you shoot it, and the hammer comes down, or the striker, or whatever kind of firing system you may have, it's going to hit the rim of this cartridge and make it shoot. Now, most modern 22 ammo is pretty reliable, but the fact remains that it is rim fired and it's not as reliable as a center fired cartridge. That being said, this thing has almost no recoil. I think you could give this to a little, I wouldn't suggest this, but you could probably give it to an 8-year-old and they wouldn't even move their hand with it. That's how little recoil comes out of it. It's very minimal, and when you're on target and you're shooting this being on target and going whap, 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 putting 10 rounds into something, that's going to give someone a bad day. And you can make fun of that 22 all you want, but you get hit with 10 of these, that's a bad day. So, that is the most carried calibers. Which one's the best? Well, like I said, it all depends on who you are and what you are and what size you are. And I'd like to mention that got a new mat today, and it's by the Vapor Mat people. Did a lovely job on our blazing bullet mat. My son has one too, so I got him one. That brings me down to this. Now, would I suggest anyone carry this? Not in a million years. But this is my Smith & Wesson 500. Most people aren't going to be able to carry that. There's the holster for it. That is a massive gun, shooting massive rounds. I'm not sure if I brought any out here. I'll have to look for it. Okay, like they always say, if it was a snake, it would have bit you. It's right in front of me. These are 500 Magnum rounds. This is a serious round. This is the most powerful handgun in the world. 500 Smith & Wesson. It's a 500, what they call a 500 Magnum. Now you saw that 45 caliber. Look at that next to a 500. That makes that look like a BB gun. This has serious, unbelievable recoil. Especially with that round there. It's a Hornady round there. It's a 300 grain Hornady FTX round. Polymer tip. It's a hollow point. This will take down a grizzly bear easily, one shot. That thing is just massive. You can get cast bullets for that over 700 grains. So you're talking 50 BMG round size almost. So that's a massive gun. It's ported. That helps with the recoil too, because it's got an unbelievable snap to it. And believe me, when you shoot this thing, you know you shot something. So like I said, it all depends on who you are, what you are, how capable you are, what size you are, what do you like to carry. You know, you might be a big person that might want to carry 22. I don't see anything wrong with that. Anything that you have for self-defense in any situation, it doesn't matter if you're out in the woods out there and you're worried about a raccoon attacking you. It doesn't matter. It all depends on what you're comfortable with. I have no problems with any of these calibers. I've carried any one of these with me, even the 22. I've carried with me many a time, mostly for backup, second gun. But it all depends on what size of gun you want. You want a small, compact gun? You want a large, very large gun? It depends on what your needs are and what situation and what kind of clothes you are, what stature you are, what size you are. Any one of these will be a deterrent. I think that everybody in this country that's legal should be able to carry and should carry. And I think other countries as well. I don't see any reason why anybody would stop their citizens from being able to defend themselves. If you're a free country, you should be able to carry a weapon. Lawful people are the ones that abide by the laws. Unlawful people don't care what your laws are. You can have all the gun laws in the world against your people, and you ain't allowed to carry nothing besides a Kleenex with you, and still the bad people are still going to have guns. And look at France. There's no gun laws there. I mean, they have gun laws there where you can't carry it over there, but then stop no terrorists to come over there and start shooting people up in the street. So I think all these gun laws are stupid. Magazine rulings are stupid. It's all dumb. It's all feel-good stuff that these politicians that don't have any clue what they're talking about are telling people how they should live their life and what they should have. Meanwhile, they got 14 Secret Service guys around them that all have 5 and 7s with them with 20 rounds in them, with more behind them. So don't let these politicians fool you on guns and stuff. All of them are full. You know what? We won't get into that. But I think that, whatever you're feeling comfortable with. I suggest for most people, I think a 9mm is probably the size that I would suggest for most people. I think personally a 9mm is a good round. It has a lot of capability. A lot of times, say you have a Glock 19, you have 15 rounds in one in the chamber, so you have 16 rounds with you. Glock 19 is kind of a larger caliber, or a larger gun, I should say, not a larger caliber. It's a 9mm. but it has a larger frame to it. It's a 4-inch barrel, or 4.5-inch barrel. I can't remember what it is. The Glock 17 is bigger, and it has a 15-inch barrel. But and it's at least 4 inches. It might be 4.5. I can't remember. I forget all these sizes. Someone's going to tell me about it, but 4, 4.5. It doesn't matter. It's what Glock considers that as a compact, which is a fairly large compact. Now they're 17. That's a full size. They're full-size weapons, so it's a full-size 9mm. It's capable of 17 rounds. And one thing nice about Glock is, and this is probably not a good example of it because it's 10mm, but Glock magazines are polymer. They're not going to rust on you. They have steel feed lips right there. But you can take a Glock magazine. This one, well, it should say the comparable thing to this Glock 29, which is a 10mm, is the Glock 20. It has a larger magazine, larger capacity, but you could take a Glock magazine, Glock 20, and stick it right into the Glock 29, and it'll fit right in. It'll be sticking out at the bottom, obviously, and the same thing with the 19, the 17, and the Glock 26. The Glock 26 is a 9mm. It's they're subcompact. The 19 is the compact, and the 17 is the full size. You can take a Glock 17 magazine, stick it in a 19, and you can take that same Glock 17 magazine and stick it in the little small 26, and it will fit right in. That's one good thing for a Glock, but then, you know, some people aren't real comfortable with not having a safety on the weapon. These are all different things that you have to think about before. Don't just run into a gun store and let some guy talk you into, well, get this 380 over here. You know, this is what you should have, because you might be a big fellow with big hands, and most 380s are pretty small, and a 380 is going to be too small for your hand. So when you're trying to pull it out of your holster or your pocket or whatever you got, or wherever you have it at, you might not be able to get your hand around it. You might not be able to get your finger in the trigger. You know, you can't. If it doesn't have a big enough hole here, you can't get your hand in there. It's useless. What's the sense of having it? You can throw it at someone, but that's about all you can do with it. These are all things you have to think about when you're in there for a gun. So don't let anybody talk into, you know, this because you're a girl, you should have this 380 or 22 or 25. You know, some girls can handle a 45. I've seen plenty of them do it. So my wife's one of them. She can handle any gun here. I haven't let her shoot the 500 yet. She's a little worried about that one, but most any other weapon here, she has shot, or, you know, has no problem shooting. So, girl, I'm not making fun of any girls or anything like that. Plenty of them are out there, but you have to know your abilities and what you're capable of handling. A 380 might be just perfect for you. Like I said, girls with little tiny hands, that might be the perfect weapon for you. 380 will definitely stop people. I think all women should carry. I don't trust anybody out there, and I wish my daughter would when she gets old enough. She's only 18 now, but I think that all women should carry, just because there's a lot of kooks out there. Well, this is Blazing Bullets, and please be safe out there. Please subscribe and or like our stuff, share our videos, and join us on Facebook. I usually put all the information down below here, so if you look down below, I'll put all the links and stuff down there for our Facebook site. And like us and subscribe to us, because it helps us. We try to do this thing for new people. There's plenty of people on here that are experts and stuff like that, but not so many times is there someone here that's going to talk to you about different things that they expect everybody to know, and not everybody knows this caliber stuff. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We're always here to answer. That it makes our day to answer some questions to some people. So, Blazing Bullets, please be safe out there.